The transfer window is now closed for Europe's top 5 leagues. Let's take a look at the biggest deals that went through in each league, as there's a few you might have missed. I'm Niall McCorn and welcome to the Squawka YouTube channel. Starting with the league with the 5th highest amount of transfer dealings, it's the Bundesliga, whose clubs were involved in £923 million worth of business. The 5th biggest signing in the division was Ademola Lookman, moving from Everton to RB Leipzig. The £22.5 million fee will be seen as good business by the German club for the 21-year-old England under-21 international. After seeing the success of fellow winger Jadon Sancho at Dortmund, Lookman heads back to the Bundesliga after a loan spell at RB in the 2017-18 season. The 4th largest signing for a Bundesliga club was Kerem Demirbay. The midfielder moved from Hoffenheim to Bayer Leverkusen for £28.2 million. This would seem good value for the attack-minded player who registered 9 assists in 22 Bundesliga starts last season. 3rd highest on the list of deals involving the Bundesliga was Benjamin Pavard, moving from Stuttgart to Bayern Munich for £31.4 million. The deal was announced in January 2019 and officially completed over the summer. Next up, the shock return of Mats Hummels to Borussia Dortmund from Bayern Munich for £33.8 million. Nobody saw this coming at the time, but Hummels is back home in Dortmund and at 30 years of age will expect to help them challenge his old club for a few seasons yet. And the biggest signing for a Bundesliga club was Bayern Munich's second investment in a French defender, Lucas Hernandez, signed for £68 million from Atletico Madrid. Now, the league involved with the 4th highest amount of transfer dealings, 409 transfers in and out, at an average of £2.7 million per transfer, was Ligue. The 5th biggest signing for a Ligue club was Renato Sanchez. After a less successful than hoped for 4-season spell at Bayern Munich, the Portuguese midfielder will want to restart his career in Ligue with Lille. Their club record signing at £22.5 million, and at only 22 years of age, Sanchez, who has 18 caps for Portugal, will see this season as a great opportunity to prove his doubters wrong. Next up, Geoffrey Adelaide. Former Arsenal man and French under-21 midfielder Adelaide moved from Angers to Lyon for £23.1 million and will be pivotal to Lyon's plans to finally overtake big-spending rivals PSG. Speaking of PSG, 3rd highest on the list of signings by clubs from Ligue was Abdou Diallo. A £28.9 million fee represents the potential the 23-year-old Frenchman has to be a dominant centre-back for years to come. The former Monaco player returns to Ligue after 2 seasons in the Bundesliga with Mainz and Borussia Dortmund. The 2nd largest signing for a Ligue club was Idrissa Gueye, moving from Everton to PSG for £29 million. The Senegalese defensive midfielder will be relishing his return to Ligue 1 after 4 years of impressive developments in England. The largest deal in the division was Wissam Ben Yedder, signing for Monaco for a decent fee for a 29-year-old of £37.1 million from Sevilla. Ben Yedder scored 30 in 54 Sevilla appearances last season and will be looking to replicate or better those numbers with his new club in the Principality. Right, now it's time for the top 3. In at 3, they had a busy window with 509 transfers involving their clubs. It's Serie A. £32.2 million was the fee that took Kostas Manolas from Roma to Napoli. The centre-back is a key part of Carlo Ancelotti's plans to bring an elusive title to Naples. The 4th biggest fee paid by a Serie A club was surprisingly for fans of the Premier League, Danilo. Signed for £32.3 million by Juventus from Manchester City, the Brazilian moves to Serie A, with João Cancelo going in the opposite direction for £60 million. Napoli again were big spenders, splashing out £34.4 million on Hirving Lozano from PSV. The Mexican will, at the age of 24, relish the opportunity to play in one of Europe's top leagues for the first time. Matthijs de Ligt was the 2nd biggest signing by a Serie A club this summer. The Dutchman, like many of his fellow Ajax stars, was chased by a host of clubs across the continent, eventually deciding to join Maurizio Sarri and Cristiano Ronaldo in Turin. It's been an eventful start to his Serie A career for de Ligt, with Juventus conceding 3 goals to Napoli on his full league debut. And the biggest fee spent by a Serie A club this summer was by Inter, a statement of their intent for the season ahead with the £70 million capture of Romelu Lukaku from Manchester United. The Belgian has begun delivering on the fee already, scoring 2 goals in his first 2 games for the club. Now, the runners-up in terms of transfer deals, the second highest fees involving their clubs during the summer transfer window was La Liga. Luka Jovic looked a great signing at £57.7 million for Real Madrid, and after having to settle for a place on the bench in his first 2 La Liga games, Jovic made his first start in the club's last game versus Villarreal. The fourth biggest amount spent by a La Liga club was £65.3 million, spent by Barcelona on Frenkie de Jong. One of the standout talents in Europe, questions currently stand around whether manager Ernesto Valverde knows best how to utilise him and Sergio Busquets in the Barca midfield. We'll be very interested to watch how this develops over the season. In at 3, the third largest transfer fee a La Liga club spent was Real Madrid's whopping £88.5 million on Eden Hazard. Injured for the start of the season, the Belgian will be looking forward to lighting up La Liga in the same way he did in the Premier League. Undoubtedly one of the world's most talented players, in Madrid he now has a stage at a level worthy of those talents. £107.6 million took Antoine Griezmann from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona. An ugly transfer played out in the press, with both sides arguing over fees and conduct. The facts are Griezmann is now playing in Catalonia and has delivered 2 goals in his first 3 La Liga games for the club. And at number 1, the third most expensive transfer in the history of football, Joao Felix's £113 million move from Benfica to Atletico Madrid. At 19 and with only 1 season of senior football under his belt with Benfica, Atletico have reinvested the Griezmann money in one of Europe's top talents, but will it pay off? Let us know what you think in the comments. So now you know which league is number 1 for transfer dealings over the summer of 2019. Of course, it's the Premier League, whose clubs are involved in a whopping £1.83 billion worth of deals. The 5th largest fee paid by a Premier League club was a club record £55.5 million spent by Tottenham on Tanguy and Ndombele. A relief for fans of Spurs after 18 months without a transfer, Pochettino was finally given the chance to grow his Champions League final-reaching squad with the acquisition of the French midfielder. We've mentioned him once already, but Manchester City's £60 million signing of João Cancelo represents their determined investment to stay at the top of English football and to progress further in the Champions League. Given the club have already got Kyle Walker, this might seem excessive, but Pep Guardiola has shown he can successfully manage a squad which arguably has at least 2 quality players in each position. Man City are in the list again at 3rd with the £62.6 million signing of Rodri. The former Atletico Madrid man has been brought in with the intention of challenging Fernandinho and maybe Gundogan for roles in the City midfield. Arsenal surprisingly joined this list at number 2 after briefing the press that they only had a minuscule transfer budget of £40 million to spend over the summer. That news was shown to be false with the £72 million signing of Lille frontman Nicolas Pepe. Emery now has a bevy of attacking talent, and we're watching with interest how he lines up his side tactically to get the best out of them. Finally, the world's most expensive centre-back and the biggest signing by a Premier League club this transfer window, Harry Maguire, moving to Manchester United from Leicester City for £80 million. The Old Trafford club have been crying out for a dominant centre-back since the days of Ferdinand and Vidic. Maguire will want to deliver just that and has had a fairly impressive start to his United career in a side that is very much in transition. So those were the biggest transfers during this transfer window. Thanks for sticking with us throughout the summer. I'm Niall McCorn. Subscribe to the Squawka YouTube channel for more tactical previews, fan views, and all things football.